Hey guys, welcome back to We're Gone Too. Right now, I'm currently located at the Fort Churchill State Park, located in Silver Springs, Nevada. All right, approximately about 45 minutes to an hour east of Carson City, Nevada, on Highway 50. This out here at Fort Churchill, this is also where they had the Pony Express came through here. A lot of wagon trains came through here. They had issues with Paiutes out here. And not only is it like a historical park, they also have a campground. And they have a couple campgrounds in the area. And there's some good boondocking out here to do too if you don't want to pay for the campsites. But there's a lot of great history, some really good hiking trails here. I'm going to take you around, show you some of the structures. I'm a little excited about this one because I used to literally live 20 minutes from here, and I used to come out this way on my quad all the time, exploring along the Carson River. Carson River is actually directly right behind me, and that's where they have some hiking trails. So, hey, let's go take a look at this place. So right now we're going to walk up to the museum. They have a museum that's open every day from 8 to 4. I was doing a little reading on this, and this fort came about in the early 1860s, not just for the raids, the Native American raids, but also to protect the immigrants that were coming out here, and as well to provide to keep Nevada and California strong alliance during the Civil War. This park became a national landmark or historic landmark of the museum. Here's the historic landmark plaque showing 1962 when it became a historic landmark. Also, you had Buckland Station that was just down the road, and that was actually meant for immigrants that were coming across, and it became a location for the Pony Express. Now, not only is this a historic landmark, but it was deeded over to, or granted to the state of Nevada. I'm sorry, I take that back, the Sagebrush chapter and the Daughters of the American Revolution. Some of the weaponry they had here. Their field artillery, me being a former forward observer. I find this very interesting. If you want, you can pause it so you can read that. But whenever I see stuff like this, I constantly think, I'm like, man, wooden wheels. Now granted, some of it was brought over by train, but most of it was hauled by horse. And they came across some pretty rough terrain, that's for darn sure. So let's head on over to the museum that they have, and we'll see what's in here. This is the Charles McDermott Visitor Center. Very nice. And what's really cool about this place is you have one park ranger, a couple staff members, a camp host, and some volunteers who take care of this place, keep it running. They do a hell of a job. They do a great job. Now, what I really like is this model here. This is the model of the fort, of how it was. See if I can get a better angle on this. Of course, you have to have a huge parade ground because officers love to have parades. But they had some barracks here for the soldiers, but at times, like right here where it shows the tents, I'm thinking it was probably during the warmer months, they would bring in more soldiers, and that's where they would house them. And these buildings here are the officers' housing. They still have the adobe frame outside. We'll take a look at that. But they had like a parlor, a couple bedrooms. They even had their own little wood area, and they each had their own private privy, so these officers could bring their wives. So President Lincoln was the president during Fort Churchill's most active years. You had Brigadier General Sylvester Churchill, after whom the fort was named, served as Inspector General of the United States Army. Then you had Governor James W. Nye, Nevada's only territorial governor, serving from 1861 to 1864. And to this day, we still use the same symbols for artillery. For, well, maybe not infantry, but definitely for cav. So you got cavalry right there. The first cavalry at a string ceremony on the parade grounds in late August 1861, the name of the 1st Regimental Dragoons was officially changed to the 1st Cavalry. So this was a powder wagon for artillery. Again, pulled by horse. And I got to spend a little bit of time with mechanized artillery with the 1st of the 180th, a black horse, out of Mesa, Arizona. I actually went to Iraq with them. And we would complain about track vehicles. I couldn't imagine hauling all this by horse. Sign. That's one thing Nevada does have. Nevada has a good amount of state parks. If you are in Nevada, check them out. Get the pass. It's worth it. You'll, in a matter of a few days, it'll pay for itself. Love to have that cavalry sword. Oh, they have a registration book and a donation plate. Unfortunately, we cannot go in. I already tried. But it definitely gives you a really good idea of how they lived, how they dressed. I mean, there's that saddle in the back over there. I mean, you want to talk about tough living. Our ancestors were definitely a heck of a lot tougher than we are these days, I'd have to say. Spit and polish in the desert. Spoons, knives, pot hooks, canteen on the end over here. Actually have some letters from back then. And you come on down, you got a powder case, buckles, bayonet. You got some artillery, balls, shells, keys. Trying to just get a little closer in case you want to pause it and read. I don't think you want me to read all these. Oh, look at that. They even did the sweep back then. Oy. They did fit a good amount of stuff in a very small space, and they made it look classy, where it seems like it's just thrown together. They did a very good job here. called the Pony Express Bible. I guess you really had to pray hard when you were doing that job, that's for darn sure. So you had Numaga, a war leader of the Pyramid Lake Paiutes, spoke against war with the immigrants, but when war became inevitable, he led the United Force successfully against the opposing forces. This was the Pyramid Lake War of 1860. It's actually pretty famous, out here at least. Kind of cool to see a movie about that. So it was a vigilante disaster. It's apparently the kidnapping of several Indian women by white men at the Williams Station led to the deaths of the perpetrators by an Indian scouting party sent out from Pyramid Lake. There's another drawing of how the fort looked. Nice little thing here about pioneering women, about their bravery and their toughness of coming out here. One thing to say, I mean, like if you look at this guy, look how rough that guy is. But still, the women of the time still managed to look and act like women. They didn't let the hard times get to them. All right, so that's pretty much the museum here. What we're going to do is we're going to walk on out and take a look at the fort itself. This is a very impressive historical site. Actually, this is a good view. I'm going to turn this around. So up around this hill, apparently this is part of an ancient gravel bed from Lake Lahontan, because this whole area that you're looking at here was all underwater, all the way up to those hills there. It was about 100 feet underwater. Lake Lahontan was massive going across Nevada. But imagine looking here and just having this fort out like this. At a time in the middle of nowhere other than Buckland Station. So from the visitor center, they have a nice little hiking trail that will take us right down to the forts, or the buildings. And we'll be able to get a quick little look inside.